Hey, what's going on, guys? Alfredo here with another video. So today we're actually gonna be working on the motor and actually hopefully fully assembling it. So I actually got my cams in already. They're a set of L&M stage 3 NSR cams. So if you follow me on Instagram, you saw that I posted a little sneak peek of it. Apparently they're supposed to outperform the comp cam stage 3s and throughout the entire power curve, low end, mid-range, and top end. But we'll just have to see once we actually get these cams on the dyno, get the car running, and see just how much power they put down. And hopefully we can judge it by somebody else's numbers. Hopefully somebody has a similar build to me that's close enough that we can, you know, accurately compare the two builds. But I'm gonna go ahead, go inside. I'm already over here at Wayne's place, so we can go ahead and finish the motor build, and hopefully we can get this car running here soon. Alright, so I'll catch you guys inside. Alright, so here you can see where we left off last time. We left it as a complete long block. So now all we gotta do is do cams and timing components, and then we can go ahead and put the valve covers back on and the oil pan. I don't have a manifold yet. I sold my Boss manifold, so I'm hoping to upgrade from the Boss, hopefully GT350, or if I could get my hands on a ported 18, that'd be awesome. I did think about CJ. CJ would make the most power, but that would sacrifice a lot of low end torque, and I would have issues with hood clearance. Alright, here you see everything that we're going to be using, or at least most of it. So we're upgrading to these MMR Gen X timing chain guides. Forgot the words. And we're going to be using some ARP hardware. So this motor is going to be seeing a lot of RPM, so at the same time I'm just going to go ahead and just upgrade what we can. But the most important part of what we're upgrading is this. So this is one of 4 cams that the motor has. Of course, you know, you got your intake and exhaust for both the left and the right. These cams are actually made by L&M. The cores, of course, they come from comp, but they're actually ground down by L&M cams. I guess this lift and duration is supposed to be better than a comp cam stage 3 and a SAR cam. So we're gonna have to see once we actually get the car on the dyno and actually get some, you know, real dyno proven results. But for now, we're actually just gonna go ahead, check it out. Can't really tell the difference between one of my old cams. So here's like one of my old Boss 302 cams that I got. You can't really tell the difference like almost off the bat. Like maybe in person you can kind of see how these lobes are just a lot bigger, but nothing you can really see unless you actually like put some kind of a measuring gauge on there. But yeah, this motor is actually going to sound really nice with these cams. It's not going to chop. You just can't make a Coyote chop unless you lock these cams out. Reason being is because, well, your intake and your exhaust is divorced on the cam, so it is not a set degree. So that's usually what gives you choppiness in the idle, is usually when you have a crazy lobe separation angle and just crazy lift and crazy duration. All that, or at least the lobe separation, changes on the fly. So you might be asking, how does it change on the fly? Well, we're still going to be running these phasers. So what these do is that you'll have your intake cam and your exhaust cam, and say, you know, you time your motor and they'll be like this, but maybe while you're idling, you know, it might retard the intake cam, it might advance the exhaust cam, or maybe while you're at 8,000 RPM, it might advance the intake cam and might retard the exhaust cam. So that's actually what's going inside the motor, and that's what gives you your smooth idle. It gives you your low end torque and your top end power. Alright, running these bigger cams, we're already going to need some limiters to limit the phasing. So I'm going to go ahead and get these in. It works on that.
Cheat codes on. Yeah. Zelda with fucking. This is like Contra with fucking 99 lives.
So now we're actually going to go ahead and start on installing the phaser limiters that I got over here. These guys. So here's what I was talking about earlier about your phaser. So this is using oil pressure and of course a signal going into this little solenoid. You can actually advance and retard the cam, and then that's how much travel it has. But we want to limit that travel, so we're actually going to put in some of these little blocks in there. It's just going to be a solid stop, and it should limit how much travel you get. So I'm going to go ahead, toss these on all four, and cover them up, and get everything buttoned up. But we got Gen X guides on, everything looking really good. Got the Boss 302R tensioners, chains. Everything looking good right now. And then the L&M cams that came in. Okay, so I'm actually on my third one now. Here you can actually see I already installed the limiter in. They're just these, oops, dropped it. They're just these tiny little blocks. They have an open side, so you make sure that the open side is that way. So make sure it's facing towards the center. And you actually put them on this bigger lobe. So whichever one has the spring is where the limiters go. You gotta put it on the clockwise side of that lobe for the intake, and then you go counterclockwise for the exhaust. It's pretty straightforward. Just taking off the cap. It does have one small little snap ring you gotta take off, plus the 6 bolts around, and then the 3 in the center. And at the same time, while we're here, I did actually upgrade all these to ARP bolts because I believe they're one-time use. We also have new bolts for the center. Just gotta go dig those out from all the new boxes that we got for this motor. Because these are also one-time use, so you don't want to reuse your hardware there. So this motor pretty much got all brand new hardware again, except for the ARP stuff that was reusable. Of course, we also have ARP cam bolts, phaser bolts, and I believe, and some of the MMR stuff also got ARP bolts. But I'm gonna go ahead, knock these out, and hopefully I can start buttoning up and actually putting the cover and everything else back on. So I'll see you guys once I get all of that other stuff done. Alright, flash forward. So now we got all the ARP bolts. Nice. We swapped out the phaser bolts for ARP also. They're all torqued down. So now I'm actually going to go ahead and put the front timing cover on and hopefully start assembling covering up the entire motor. Okay, so it's looking a lot more like a motor. Sucks that we gotta cover up all that nice MMR stuff. I mean, we even have MMR inside with those oil squirter delete plates. So what those will actually give us is give us more consistent oil pressure in the valve train when we're at high RPM. But right now I just wanted to explain myself a little bit. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm actually not going to install the oil pickup just yet. I'm actually going to leave it out. I'll explain here in a sec, but this is actually a cool piece. This is actually the windage tray / oil pan gasket. It's actually really cool how Ford did that. So this guy's got to go in here like so. So the reason why I'm not hooking up the oil pickup is because before we stab this motor in, I still gotta wait a couple more days until my clutch arrives. So before we stab the motor in, what we're gonna do is we're actually going to fill the oil pump with as much oil as we can. That way it's kind of like semi-primed, and when we go to start it the very first time, we're not gonna have we're gonna have less chance of having a dry start. So for now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just loosely bolt up the oil pan just to keep any dirt out of the motor and kind of get it somewhat fully dressed up. May even toss in the alternator and a couple of the other stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead, knock that out right now, and I'll show you guys how it looks once it's all done. Check this out. We pretty much have ourselves a completed motor now. So I got a lot of the accessories on. I even did the oil filter, housing, oil pan, all that stuff. So we are that much closer to getting this installed in the car. All I'm really waiting on is my clutch and an intake manifold. Everything else is still here. So this motor is about 90% complete. I say 90% because we still got a crate full of shit we gotta install. Alright, and then I just went ahead and just cleaned everything up. Gotta put all the tools away, and yeah, so there it is. That is the completed motor. I'm pretty fucking exhausted because I've been here probably since 10 a.m., 9:30. It is, let's see what time it is. It's now 5 in the afternoon, so this was roughly 7.5 hours of just straight grinding on that motor. We did have a little bit of trouble with the cams. Seems like
somebody decided to check them out and not put the correct cams back in the correct boxes, so we were having issues lining up the cams, and then we found out that somebody swapped the cam out of one box to another box. But once we got all that sorted out, everything went in like butter. We got the cams in, everything's timed, everything's bolted up. Now all we gotta do is wait till pretty much the day that the motor's going in, and we're gonna prime the oil pump and fully assemble this motor and do the entire torpedo with the transmission, and we're gonna put everything in all at once. We're not gonna waste any time. It's gonna be another full day of just straight grinding on this motor and just knocking everything out. So I guess just tune in next time. You know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you like about the motor, what you hate about it, and what's your thoughts of it. So I'll catch you all next time. Peace.